Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to the Mortuary of Shadows. Mortuary of Shadows is brought to you by a group called Poetic Slice of Life, located on allpoetry.com, the largest poetry website in the world. We want to thank Kevin and his crew for keeping that site running so we have some place to hang out with all of our friends. A Poetic Slice of Life is owned by my lovely, gorgeous wife, Kay, who's sitting next to me.
Hello.
And I am her Wesley, as I was told to say, Steve at 76.
Sounds better than henchman, because then you make it sound like I'm a slave driver.
As you wish.
Yeah.
All right, tonight on the Mortuary, we are staying with that wonderful holiday theme, as Christmas is just a little over a week away now, just a week away from Christmas Eve. And we were focusing on a couple of movies this week, a couple of very family-friendly movies. I'm sorry, they're not family-friendly?
No.
No, not at all. Black Christmas from 1974 and Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984. I believe I was 14 then. We had some quotes and some taglines for people to write to. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house a creature was stirring. Stockings were hung by the chimney with care, but it was hard to say that St. Nick would be there. A Christmas with another color brings a killer on the loose. Next one is have yourself a scary little black Christmas. It's not like all the ones you used to know. And he knows when you're sleeping. He knows if you're awake. He knows. And Christmas is coming early this year, and it's murder.
Murder?
It's murder. I said murder. Last one's actually a quote from the movie, not a tagline, and that is, Jess, the caller is in the house. The calls are coming from in the house. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I wasn't able to find too much. I had to do a lot of digging, and all I really found was taglines.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one was, he knows when you've been naughty. And the next one is, now try and survive Christmas. And the last one is almost like a here's Johnny, Santa's here.
Mm-hmm.
So we got quite a few interesting rights to these prompts to read tonight. And all the poems that we will read, if the author is not present to read, we have got written permission from those authors for us to read their works on the air. The song that we just heard was by Kevin MacLeod. It was found on a public domain. So that was okie dokie to use.
Yeah.
And
yes, I know. I'm going to run to the phone line.
Yes, we do have a caller. Yeah. Or maybe two by now. Or...
yes. Yeah. Let me pick up Raz first.
First, there's Raz. How you doing, Raz?
How you doing, Steve? It's good to see you here out tonight at the Mortuary Shadows.
Heck yeah.
You know, having a little thing going on for Christmas time that when you're sort of rolling around the sun, you start heading towards the darkness come the winter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Who else we got?
Sky.
And Sky is here. Hello, Sky.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. My uncle's going to be here, and we're going bowling, so I can't stay. But I wrote a poem, and I did it in 10 minutes. So if it's stinks, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Well, should we, who's more of in a hurry?
Sounds like Sky is. Raz, are you in a rush to leave?
No, I wouldn't mind just staying around in the shadows tonight. You sound like a great show. I'm interested in both of those titles, Silent Night and Black Christmas. I mean, these are movies that fundamentally define why everything's not Dean Martin.
Yeah.
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 With your permission, of course.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfectly fine. You can hang with us.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate the company.
Yeah.
Since Sky's gonna abandon us to go knock pins over with a heavy ball.
Yeah, for please and thank you and goodbye.
I can stay until, he's probably going to be here. I probably have to get ready. He's already called me, so I don't know how long it takes him to get home from work.
That kind of works that way. You have your bowling ball, the pins. Those must be the actual planets, while the black hole is sort of that large, heavy ball.
That sounds like a poem.
It does.
Well, Sky, if you wanted to drop yours on the board to read, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. My computer's being a little slow. And like I said, it was literally 10 minutes. I found this picture, I wrote on it, and we went from there.
I love it.
Why I don't visit Mall Santa. True story. This guy has issues. All right, there was a guy at the mall. You called him Santa. He was paid in pennies to replace the gin on tongue. But you see, he had a sleight of hand and pocketed your ID. You didn't think much of it. Perhaps you dropped it somewhere in the back seat. But on Christmas Eve, you will regret such carelessness when he dresses to look his best, and you're screaming much more vulgar things than "Oh, my Lanta," and he's creeping around the corner, axe in hand, smiling. Here's Santa.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That kind of sends a chill up the spine. I don't see that happening this year. At least I hope not when I come home from the Christmas party.
Wow. The Santa didn't look like Jack Nicholson, did he? You said this is true?
No, I said I really hate them all. That part's true.
Oh, okay.
I'll any excuse not to go there.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either. I used to be when I was a teenager, but I'm not a teenager anymore.
Well, no, last time we went was when James was a toddler, so it was probably maybe about 20 years ago. And that's okay.
No, he was a little older because we got him that Beavis and Butthead cup.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. Okay, so maybe 10 years ago. I forgot. Back on track.
I like this guy. Santa's grabbing your ID so he knows your address so he can come and chop you to bits. But shouldn't Santa already know where you live?
No, it's not. It's not a real. It's mall Santa.
I
It's not real Santa. Hello.
What did you think of it, hon?
I think he gets the people's addresses probably, if not from the letters, somewhere there has to be a phone book.
Well, I have to admit, I like the picture because above Santa's face, it says, "Here's Santa." I love the poem all around because he definitely sounds like Bad Santa. You remember that movie?
Oh, yeah, but at least he never chopped anybody up.
No, he Yeah, this Santa looks like he's looking to cause trouble. I don't think I'd want him in my house.
No. What'd you think of it, Raz?
It was a good poem. It's a whole take on what you would not suspect to happen to you because of the actual mock Santa Claus. But in these times, you can't be too sure. Everyone watches the news, and people are willing to take things to a whole other level sometimes. In the old days, the most you could say about a paid-for Santa Claus is maybe he was a drunk, but considering Black Christmas, there might be a certain reality there, which is the dubious part of an otherwise humorous piece.
That it is.
Yes, excellent comment.
Yeah.
You're making me think of that Saturday Night Live skit that they had the toilet seat covers next to Santa to put on his lap so they could sit on his lap.
Oh, Jim Belushi. Yeah, he was drunk at the mall. Said, oh.
I'm batting 0 for 0 because I've never seen Bad Santa and I've never seen what you're talking about. But I have seen Jackie Gleason Christmas special, The Honeymoon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
When he's outside ringing the bell and the.
Yeah. I haven't
To the
seen
moon,
that.
Alice. To the moon.
Well, since Raz is going to hang with us, I think Blue said she's getting ready to fall asleep, so maybe we read Blue's next.
Sure. Yeah.
And Sky, make sure you get a turkey today.
Turkey.
3 strikes in a row.
Oh, they're bowling.
I'll try, but my uncle's really, really good. He taught me a mean curveball when I was very young, and I'm out of practice, so I'm ready to go get my butt whipped right now.
It's still fun.
Yes.
Lou's always trying to fall asleep, she said on the board.
Yeah, it never happens. There's just always the act of trying. All right, I'll try to stay for blues, and then I gotta like do things.
Okie doke.
And I will catch your show after though.
Oh, that's okay. I can relate to what Blue was saying because I sleep in 1 to 2 hour intervals. Sleep is not my best friend.
Mine neither.
Yeah.
About once a month I'll crash for like 12 hours straight. The rest of the time it's all spotty.
Yeah, very spotty. I think a lot of us do.
Okay, whoever's reading this has to sing it, I think.
No. Because I'm reading, I am not singing.
Oh, no, that's just the quote, I think, on the top that she wrote to.
I read it earlier, and I sang to it. I'm just saying.
He knows if you're okay. He knows if you've been bad or good, so I've been good for goodness sake.
Awesome.
There you go. Somebody sang it.
All right, hon, you're on.
Okay.
I like the picture.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Badass picture of Santa. Okay, this is by Blue, and it's called Santa Street. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows if you're awake. He knows. Awake, undercover, snug and warm. Shivers of ice still run down my spine, and hairs stand on end at the back of my neck, as I can feel his watching eyes. Pitter-patter of trembling feet, like blast in the silence as I try to sneak. Swearing to myself as the floorboards creak. Does he know where I'm going? Or can I get away? Which way do I go? I feel someone watching. Like every decoration in this house is just an extension of his eyes, following my every move, mocking me as I try to make it safe. Detour around the chimney, stay away from that tree. Get to the front door, and there I see Santa standing there, just waiting for me. Ho, ho, ho. No need to run. I see you when you're sleeping. I know when you're awake. I know you when you've been bad or good. Santa smiles at me with blood on his teeth. You've been bad, my dear. We both know this. And now your flesh will be my Christmas treat. And home.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ordinarily, he just goes for the milk and cookies underneath the tree.
Exactly.
Well, maybe Santa wants a little meat this year.
He's had enough. Look how big he is.
That's all cookies. We'll let Sky comment first since she's got to hit the road.
Yeah.
Bowl a 300 game.
Yeah, right. This is great. I really, I'm not too shabby, but I'm not that good. This was just really great. I heard it earlier today, and I was like, Blue, you're going to give me nightmares. I really loved the use of the pitter-patter, trembling feet. I liked the use of that. And, this is scary stuff. This is really Christmas gone bad. I really also liked the ho, 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 no need to run. I see you when you're sleeping. I just hear this maniacal ho, 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 this, like the laugh, but a really like evil shrieking one. This is what I picture in my mind when I read this. But I also really love the flesh. What's the flesh will be your treat? Oh my goodness. That's, I don't know. It reminds me of what's that movie when they eat the skin off your, I can't do this. You know what I'm talking about? They cut the flesh and they eat the skin. There's a scary movie like that. I don't know what it is. Can't remember. It was awful. You're giving me dark images, Blue. Huh?
Is it an older movie?
I don't know. It was something like they all got disease and it was spreading and they were locked in this like insane asylum. I have no idea what it was, but it traumatized me, just like this poem does.
Right,
brilliant,
the
Blue.
flies of cabin fever.
I love being traumatized.
Yeah.
Really well done. Yeah.
He could fillet a little off the rear and fry it up with some mushrooms and onions, and you'd be fine.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Now I like this too. I thought I read it a little earlier. I said, "Don't mess with Father Christmas if you've been bad, huh?" I really like Blue's descriptiveness in this, like you said, Sky, with like the pitter patter of feet, and the tension that you can actually feel as she's trying to escape the house. But if Santa knows you've been bad, he knows where you're at too.
Yeah.
Yum yum.
Yeah. This kind of makes me think of the Tales from the Crypt.
Oh yeah, that Christmas one with Santa with the axe.
Yeah, he escaped from the insane asylum,
Yep.
and he was on a killing spree on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I was thinking of that scene too, where the little girl is trying to help him up to her bedroom window, saying, "Come on, Santa, you could do it," and he's trying to climb the wall.
You know, I remember that episode. I think that episode traumatized me too. I do remember that episode.
I don't go for
I got
Santa
one.
Claus thing because I believe he's a
One
drunk.
that you saw. There you go.
So, Sky, you're batting .333, then you just got to hit that 300 game. What'd you think of it, Raz?
Personally, the best part, other than Santa finally being the naughty person for Christmas who he intended to punish, of which there's Christian pagan myths around that very thought, on a different radio program, I believe of this very blog spot, such as Krampus, would have to be how everything around the narrator is watching them that has to do with the decorations of Christmas. Like, in essence, this is very spirit stalking this person. That line stands out the most of what I've read. Decorations in this house are just the extension of the eyes, following your every move and mocking you that you're trying to say.
Puppy likes it too.
I'm sorry, it's my uncle's home. I have to go.
Okay, Sky.
Till next time, Kitty.
All right.
I got a word, is that that?
Okay.
Okay. There's no question mark, so it seems like it's suitable. Okay. And I'll let you.
All right. We have another caller on the line, area code 570.
It's Glow Lizzie.
Hey.
How
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Doing good. Does she need to read one?
I was just going to ask her. Okay. Do you need to read and run?
Yeah, yes. Stop it, guys. Calm down.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to read one.
All right, we'll get your poem up in the room, and we'll let you know when it's cool to read.
Yeah. Did you send an invite to let her come into the room?
No, I was going to do that.
Okay. Well, why don't you send her an invite to come to the room, and I will drop this on the board.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Oops, wrong button.
Okay. Stephen, I sent you an invite to come to the room, but whenever you're ready, you can start to read.
Okay. I mean, I have it up on my tablet, so I'm just going to read it from here.
Yeah, that's cool.
The night of a dead Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Everyone was snuggled, dead in their bed, throats slit and degutted, bathed in red. The stocking stuffed with intestines and tongues, shining eyeballs hung on the tree like glass bowls. Old St. Nick was covered in blood, his coal black boots now splattered with crimson spots. A head sits atop the tree as St. Nick sips at his glass of milk and eats gingerbread cookies. End poem.
Yeah. What a way to decorate. I really like the imagery that you put in here. I like the shining eyeballs hung on the tree, and of course the treetop are a nice disembodied head, and he's just sitting there covered in blood, sipping milk and eating gingerbread cookies. That's just and it seems to be like he went and lost his marbles or something, and maybe just had too much of it. Constantly hearing I want.
Mhm.
Enough.
Too much I want. They were like, that's it.
What do you think of it, Anna?
Oh, yeah. I love the dark undertones. I have to agree with what Steven says about shouting enough. You know, there's a lot of cool things you put in here about, you know, the dark imagery. It's just, wow. You drew on Twas the Night Before Christmas, but with a dark side to it.
Yes, I can see intestines instead of garland wrapped around the tree, too. Be perfect.
That would be different. But if you have an animal in the house, that wouldn't be wise. They'd be eating off the tree. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would. This is an awesome brevity, and you are our silver winner, right? Yes. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
And we get you another comment from Raz. Raz, what do you think of that?
Well, personally, if Santa's going to come after you on Christmas, maybe you would try to protect yourself somehow, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of summon rituals or spell books on Krampus, at least. If you're not talking about the mall Santa Claus, in this case, who coincidentally wants you to be his present.
This is the Santa that snapped. Nobody was expecting it, so there you go.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It is.
And I did send you an invite to our group, Lizzie.
Yeah, just knock on the door whenever you
much.
Appreciate you calling in to read.
Oh, thank you for having me. I wish I could stay longer, but I got 6 puppies that are jumping all over me right now.
Oh, that's
Okay. We understand.
Yeah,
Well, if we don't
now.
talk to you beforehand, Merry Christmas. Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Okay, if you want, I could put Raz's in right now, and he was the bronze from the Santa.
You would like me to read my poem?
Yep,
Yes,
it's
sir.
up on the board.
All right. This one's called Silent Night, Stay Quiet Still. And it's not exactly inspired by much except the thought of Christmas having certain things that are never solved every year. Silent night, stay quiet still. Silent night, how quiet is the night. Shadows crawling over snow hills white. Soon young virgin be greeted knowledge that's wild. Death no aversion to separate the mother and child. Around the infant warning of war's desolate miles. The invitation heeding entrance to thresholds, fostering insecurities both deadly and round. Rack up the points of the charcoal fireplace. The yearly journal and time entry dates are churning the red poker to sleep the nights, ember churning of the fickle flickering blazes. The written prints ink curl in the ashes to kindle. Codes the subdued howling wind erases defibrillation, air currents on octane valors, anti-suspension tension. Santa's coming, and the ghost of good old Saint Nick, to drown out dead mourning of whom previous decades unsolved murder on the 12th stroke of the hour are limitless. Winter, silent solaces of frozen unspoken witnesses. Detail abandoned of serving evidence, including the rat's tail, the butcher's knife, and the missing person address on whose foretold the special holiday location. Pull up the wool sweater or an exercised New York beater for the heating insulation to sweat off the chills down in the never. Underworld, the thin ice victims are hurtled over the blackened caverns of migrating souls that Hades never gave up, of eternal damnation and punishment inflicted trial. There's peace for the heavenly angels in the snowfall diminishing vision in order not to blink, speaking on behalf of the mortality rates, either because of suicide, accidental fattening, null and void contracting on London premises, or the fact his nativity, not an end to the finishing lines, the other finite melodies proceed. Jesus, when you die, wishes you eternal peace. Silent night, stay quiet still.
Yeah, this is a very, very, yeah, this is very, very powerful. I really like the way you write. It's very powerful. It's very to the point, and it's also filled with some extremely excellent imagery. In this case, very dark imagery. But yeah, I think you're talking about death, and I mean, no matter what, death is always. At least I feel death is always just a few steps behind you, and he's just waiting for you to trip up, and that's when he's going to grab you. I also tend to believe that inside each and every one of us, there's a timer that once it goes off, it's just set to a certain time. Unless somebody decides to play God and take our lives, like some of this poem does talk about, we're all just going to die at a set time. There's just a set time in there. But this is really, really good stuff, man. This is excellent writing. Congrats on the bronze.
Thank you very much. I appreciate winning the bronze. Otherwise, if I don't let that kind of energy out, then what will become of me next year? Because I had this thought, the previous one, that certain unsolved mysteries do kind of tend to revolve around December, whether or not the forensic files are ever really there. And it kind of bothers me, to acknowledge, for the most part, while you might be distracted with your holiday times, that death does not appear to take a vacation, even during December.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. What do you think, hon?
Well, I would have to agree about the unsolved mysteries. There's unsolved cases, unsolved mysteries, and when you speak about life being taken, and sometimes it has the unknown to it as well. Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of, a lot of cold case files.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that nowadays it's harder to get away with certain crimes because of the fact that science comes into play. But a long time ago, it was more easier because you didn't have all this technology and science to help pave the way to come to your answer a little bit more better.
Hence the Gray Man.
The Gray Man? Who's the Gray Man?
Can't remember his name.
What was it from?
No, it was a true guy. He was real. I read about him.
Oh.
The guy who had all the pins up in his...
Oh, yeah. Fish?
Yeah, Albert Fish.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, he did end up getting caught, but he killed a lot of kids before they finally caught him.
Yeah, but he also, you read his a book about him that somebody read about him.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of self-harm to himself as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not something that we want to talk about.
No.
he was a sick man.
Yeah.
He was a very sick man.
I mean, otherwise, these subjects would creep anybody out, just considering if killers are out there. But there must be something to the wind around Christmas time that one could almost sense the actual fear through the actual sheer of how the wind and the actual cold plays along with someone's psychology.
Well, yeah, that could be possible because I do know that there's been studies that I know when, I can't remember the temperature, do you?
What?
When the temperature rises above a certain temperature, murders actually happen more often.
Oh, yeah, I think it was like 92.
92 degrees or something like that,
There's an old black and white episode of Twilight Zone, I believe.
Yeah, but they were going off truth.
Yeah.
And it might be the same for going the other direction as well with the temperature too. But I also wonder if it might just happen to have to do with the Christmas season. I mean, there's some people get very depressed at Christmas because, they're alone. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody who's already just a little on the crazy side might go a lot crazy around Christmas time. I don't know.
It all depends.
What I mean about tonight's theme, Black Christmas, this is something that through a horror genre, it disguised otherwise what would be murder in December to sort of be disguised in a way through the Santa Claus who goes on a violent killing spree.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're mostly still talking along the same terms, right?
Right, yes.
Holidays can be depressing, but they can also unleash certain things depending on the person, too.
Yeah.
This guy mentioned there's trauma there. I mean, there has to be a reason for that, and it's not because everyone has a good time, which is usually the truth about Christmas and holiday parties.
Yeah. Joseph just said on the board that there are many more suicides during the Christmas season than any other time of year, which is, yes, that's true, too.
It is sadly very true. It's the holidays, they intensify with the month.
Yeah. Where did you want to go, hon?
Oh, well, since Joseph is on the board,
Okie dokie. Who does he want to read?
I should ask.
Well, you can hear me, too, right? He's listening.
Joseph, who do you want to read for you? I dropped yours on the board. Tell me now, Joseph. Oh, he says it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure thing. Oh, yeah, he said you anyway, so there you go.
Okay. All right. This is called Children in Black Clothes by Joseph Moon. I like the way it starts out, too. Sorry, Joseph, I just have to say it makes me think of that Gordon Lightfoot song.
Which song?
The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh, why's that?
Because it says it in the song. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when Satan sits and laughs with delight? Whilst holy thoughts star the silent night, pain, pain, a child cries with endless woes. On a porch, I met a father crying. He had always taken funerals in stride, and other feelings he could cast aside. From the kitchen, I heard the woman sighing. Nothing to be said about it, and everything. I lie in bed fully awake, the darkness. Faces of the families, their nights all starless. No more to laugh, no more to sing. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when children lie asleep in black clothes? End poem.
Deep.
Yes. 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 I read this just 5 minutes before the show. I read this, and I did leave him a comment. The loss of a child stays with you for life. The pain never goes away, and it is felt even more during the holidays. If Zach were still with us, Christmas would be so much more, and Santa would be real again.
I think for our household, Christmas would be more happier. Because right now, Christmas is very hard to get through. Because it's a reminder of what was lost. So December is actually very hard. I go through those episodes of deep depression and just wanting to be left alone because I can't deal with anything right now.
Yeah. Did you make a comment on Joseph's poem?
Yes. With Joseph right, with what he was saying, it definitely speaks to society because, with having children, we've seen both spectrums. We've lost our youngest child, but with our child, James, when he became a teenager, the people that he hung out with, and, certain areas in any town, you'll have those areas where they have unfavorable conditions. And our son, he hung out in those areas a lot. And with the friends that he decided to keep at that time, it was very challenging as a parent because a lot of them were doing things that were more so on the illegal side.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
yeah, the one thing that angered me all those years ago is his so-called friends. You know, he ended up taking something that gave him a very bad trip and made him very sick. And none of his friends had the courtesy to call us to pick him up and take care of him. Instead, they just let him ride it out, and he drove himself home, which was very wrong to do because he could have hurt somebody else on the road by driving home in his condition.
Yeah.
But then it also makes me think, too, one of his friends as well, who was a dealer, who ended up overdosing. And, you know, when I found out about that, I felt more so for his parents because his parents were good people. And despite what their child had decided to do in life, my heart went out to them because they're without a child now because of the choices he decided to make. And the choices that he decided to make, he couldn't break free from. So this definitely makes me think from all spectrums. Because, like I said, every town has their bad side to it. And technically, it should not ever exist, but it does. And, you know, Joseph Bright is definitely circled around to those elements. You know, it's very hard in this day and age to embrace a lot of different things and to accept certain things and people for who they are, because sometimes they also make it a challenge, too. Because I have so much experience with the more darker side of my family and then with having children. So I have more perspective. So, yeah, I can understand where Joseph is coming from when he talks about the lack of love and respect towards fellow man, and it's an all-time high. So I can understand that. I do. While also understanding what his right is about. So it definitely is a very relatable right that definitely speaks to me very greatly.
And comment?
And comment. I am sorry. Sorry.
Raz, what did you think?
This here could emotionally break another person having to hear of the father's loss of the child. When it comes to the main thought of the poem, what's expressed here is the kind of eternal grief of losing one's kid that there's no excuse even from God or Satan, which is the original question. It starts off the stanzas as to why they are forever separated this way. That finally, where it ends, that it could be somebody else meditating on the father's loss. You can't help but feel kind of haunted why these children die so young.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of different reasons. Because the thing is, a lot of people, they, I find it funny when people question why a person falls into certain things. And I always believe that there's a reason for everything. Even if a person falls into addiction, there is a reason that made that happen. So, you know, it is hard to understand. But sometimes mental illness could be a key factor. Well, also sometimes trauma could be a factor as to why, you know, certain people, they choose to embrace certain aspects of life. But as a parent, it is also very hard to understand as well.
Yeah.
Because you just want better for your children.
Yes, indeed. And we'll welcome Deb into the room. Hello, Deb.
Hello, Deb.
Hello. Hello, hello.
We know you've got a read and run.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm live, so I got two phones going, but I wanted to come and contribute.
How you doing, Debbie?
Appreciate that.
Who's that?
My name's Raz.
Hi,
I'm
okay. How are you?
Good, good. Merry Christmas.
To you as well.
All right, Deb, you can read when you're ready.
Okay. Refreshing. Oh, I'm just computers. Don't you love when it's real in slow motion because you're trying to do something here? All right, let me.
Yeah. It's always one of those. Yep.
Always. It's like it's a conspiracy. Okay,
Yep.
I see it. Thank you.
Yep.
Right. I had a hard time picking which quotes because you picked some really good ones for the prompts. So I went with, come on. It's like Frozen. Come on, move, move, move. I don't know why this keeps happening. The M stripe keeps hijacking my page and it won't load. Okay, here we go. And I wrote to the one, he knows when you're sleeping. He knows if you're awake. He knows. And here we go. It's called Red Velvet Suit and an axe in his boot. If floorboards creak, do you jump, triggering heartbeats to thump? Or do arms wear hairs that stand as palms sweat inside two hands? Out on the rooftop, is that reindeer paws, a sleigh, or a creature with sharpened claws? With his slide down the chimney shaft, do you hear ho, 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 or a hiss blast? Is the dog barking in the backyard? And is that him or you breathing hard? Did you lock the front door? He sees you and you snore. Sleeping tucked snug in bed, but in his brain, he pictures you, blood-covered and dead. Like a baseball batter, he swings to hit. So run, that is him with an axe, not a mitt. And Paul.
That's really cool. I like the way you ended it. For a little while I was thinking Krampus, but then you went totally with that picture, yeah. Getting ready to come down on with the axe. Once again, making me think of that Tales from the Crypt episode of the X-Men Santa Claus.
I was thinking of too, Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love the. Is the dog barking in the backyard, and is that him or you breathing hard? Yeah. This is really cool, Deb. Thanks for bringing that. What do you think, hon?
Thanks for the fun round.
Killer Santa is not Krampus, however. I mean, these are entirely different mythologies. One urban that started recently, there's a Killer Santa, and the other far back as German times.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Go ahead, Hannah.
Oh, yeah, I thought this was a totally wicked right, but I don't think that he will have a swing on this. I think his swing will be
True.
Dead on. This is a wicked right.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
And what'd you think, Raz?
That this time with the poem, you have the whole notion that the abstract figure of the unknown stalker is somewhere in the background. However, by the last verse that she warns, if you see him, that would take anyone by surprise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's one.
Thank you so much.
All right, yeah, I think that's my favorite part. Yeah, run. It's not an axe. It's an axe, not a mitt. That's just I like that.
I'm glad you giggled.
Oh, why not? I always giggle at the dark.
You do. Yeah.
I'm the only one who doesn't know if I'm taking this too seriously about the serial killer who's Santa Claus. You all
you must laughing. And you must not have saw the movie. Just making fun of the movie. I did see the movie,
and I did not find it to be of any humor but horror.
Yes?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Horror's my favorite movie genre.
Mine too.
But Black Christmas is really on someone named Bill, right?
Billy.
Billy?
Yep.
Yeah. Probably.
Move along?
Yeah.
All righty. I know you got to get back to your show, Deb, but thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
I do. Thanks for squeezing me in. Have a great show, you guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You as well.
Okay. And I will read the next one.
Okie dokie.
And yeah, Joseph, I carry the same sentiment. I cannot believe that Christmas is next week. I am so behind. I have a ton of stuff to do.
Well, it doesn't hurt that you broke your arm.
No, I know that's delaying me big time. There's certain things this year that I am not doing at all, but there still are other things I need to do. So it's very overwhelming because there's so much to do still. And I'm in crunch time to get stuff done this week.
All right, so you are going to read
For Jessica.
Jessica Wren, our first HM.
Yes, I am. Okay. Get this open here. Okay, this is by Jessica Wren, and it is called Dawn of the Dead. And what quote did you read? Have yourself a scary little black Christmas. It's not at all like the ones you used to know. And it goes like this. It was Christmas Eve. I was walking through a forest alone. I heard a scary and terrifying sound. My tongue was in cheek and I was blown. It appeared some demon-like figure on the land. I was petrified. My brain was numb and I had shivered hands. The sight of that figure so horrifying that I peed my pants. I asked him with a timid voice, "Who are you? Are you a witch?" He said, "Yes, I have come here to satisfy my hunger," and held my neck with his hand, so hard that I twitched. He opened his devilish mouth, took out his monstrous teeth, cut my right hand, and my body was in a pool of blood. Then he lifted me high in the sky and threw me down. I landed on the ground with a thud. I fought back and hit him hard on his head, freed myself, and ran up a stud. That night was a black Christmas, for whenever men dare to walk alone, being dead, terrified, and full of fear. Now I have nightmares. Even the sight of humans gives me a scare. And so.
Yeah, I read this one earlier too. This Jessica Wren messaged me and told me this was his first shot at a dark poem. And I thought he did pretty good for his first shot. Really good, actually. I think this is a terrible event to happen on a Christmas Eve. And it sounded to me like he ran into Hans Trapp.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me again what Hans does.
Hans Trapp will ambush you in the woods, and he is also cannibalistic, so he would eat you. And if you were bad on Christmas Eve, he would leave a bundle of twigs at the foot of your bed, and that would let you know that he's coming back later on to get you so he can have his Christmas dinner.
He sounds like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he was a legend, I think, in France.
Yeah.
If I remember right. Right along kind of a Krampus type. What'd you think of it, hon?
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty cool write because, yeah, this was Jeff Grant's first dark write, and actually Jeff Grant's first participation effort for the Mortuary. Yeah, because usually Jeff Grant takes part for Poetic, Inklands, and Movement of Sound, so I was surprised to see that he had taken part for tonight. And I thought that Jeff Grant, he did an awesome write. You went dark, it was scary, your visualization was very intense, and it also drives the feelings home more so of the frightening aspect that you're trying to bring into the write with the quote that you chose. So yeah, I thought that this was pretty cool because it would, if something like that happened, it would make you see things differently, to begin with. Even if not a nightmare, man can be scary all on their own and creating trust issues. So I thought this was pretty cool all around. Thank you, Jessica.
Yes, indeed. What did you think of it, Raz?
Mostly, this time you have me at odds with what the words were presenting because I couldn't find it on the board. Which one did you say his name was again?
Jessica Wren? Should be right up over SLR's
great.
comment. Yeah, JASKARAN.
Yeah. I redropped it down for you.
All right. Hold on a second, then.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like
I must be looking at the wrong part of the screen. It was Jasper's poem, right?
Yes.
I dropped it down on the board so you could open it.
And what was the title?
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, yeah.
Dawn of the
Sometimes
Dead.
you have to. Yeah, sometimes you have to refresh your computer or your by going out of the room and coming back in, and then it'll pop up.
Let's see. I'll try that then.
Yeah.
I've learned that the hard way a couple times.
Dawn of the Dead happens to be a George Romero film, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Although I've never saw that.
That's
That one
the
I've never
starts
seen.
off, hello, is anybody out there?
I think.
I think so. Yeah, I've never seen the whole thing. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. Of course, I've seen the original Night of the Living Dead, probably more than 100 times. But
Yeah, I know. Oh, I think
Here we go. Yeah, I'm looking at the poem, and if this is someone's amateur attempt, they're really right dead on the subject to be right up there with the prose. I mean, the writing here embellishes most styles that you don't even find in your common day horror novel. From the description of why a demon would come out of nowhere on Christmas night, until the very fact that it's trying to swallow you alive in the actual dark winter night.
yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Some
Definitely did
intense
well.
imagery to not exactly want to end up in that situation.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I actually wrote something similar to that with one of Sky's contests once.
What?
Encroaching Darkness, it was called.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Was that the one you asked me about the other night that you couldn't find?
No.
No? Okay. For some reason it sounds familiar. Like maybe we were talking about it a
Oh,
lot.
sorry. All right, Poetic Tea was one of our HMs.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, yes, the Christmas wish. This is called Serial Santa. Ho, ho, ho. I said it like Hans from Die Hard.
Oh,
All right. He had a blackened beard. He was out of his face. On a sledge adorned with flayed skin of those on the naughty and nice list. Those who deemed unworthy for the gifts to bring this night, those houses with no cans, bottles, mince pies, to line his stomach from the offerings of 40% alcohol that fueled his laughter. Vomiting induced from heights over gardens, roofs, people, killed from frozen missiles of vomit from high above. He would sneak up upon those deemed unworthy in the eyes of children. He would never harm an innocent, young, cradled with love, but the naughty list wasn't of children. It was parents unjust, cruelty, neglect, violence against those unable to defend themselves. He was a protector of the innocent ones. The elves would hold the parents down as Serial Santa shouted out the charges, so each was heard. Ears bleed as his voice pierced sound. He would be the judge, jury, executioner, for their time was coming to an end. Some begged, screamed, spat in his face. He would go in his black bag, and from nowhere, a soundproof room for justice was to be served as children were not to be disturbed. His parents screamed out. He had finished flayed bodies, disappeared with his black sack, the odd finger picked up, used as a toothpick to get out flesh stuck between the teeth. But what about the children, you say? They were fine. Never woke, slept in peace. I don't murder parents for fun, okay? I get a little satisfaction from them coming to their deserved end. Thousands of these hundreds of years, dispatched into the bag, still not full. After so many killings through the years, cloning is the way forward. Been pioneers in this for 100 of years. New parents for a new day, the best present a serial Santa could give. Happy Christmas, parents. Pray that you're nice, for I kill for the children. They deserve better in life. End poem.
This is really good poem. I mean, who wrote this may as well have it published somewhere.
Yeah, Poetic T
Poetic
is the username. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure of the real name. Does it say? Calls himself Batman, Master Bruce. But yeah, I know this is really cool. Kind of see a little bit of Santa Claus and Dexter mixed together in this one. But the message is important too, because there's so many abusive parents that get away with what they do. And it makes me think that if this dark Kringle actually existed, maybe it wouldn't happen so much. But this is definitely a powerful rite with a hell of a message. What do you think? I think
some kids, if they're in an abusive situation, that however tragic it sounds, they will actually write to Santa Claus to kill their parents.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Presents.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
You can't really have that in a decent society, of which we are the Western world, to demonstrate what it's like to have moral behavior.
Right. Yeah. What do you think, hon?
Well, I definitely think it carries its own somber message. Because certain words are highlighted, so the right actually has two different messages to it. But each side of the coin, it has its own dark message as well. Because, growing up, I was raised in an abusive household. I saw a lot of things I shouldn't have. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I started to realize that certain things I thought was normal is not normal. No children should be in those situations. They shouldn't. As a parent, you should just be responsible, because if you're taking the time to make a child, then you should take the time to raise them and raise them right. And that's a hard thing to do for some parents. And I know, for both of my parents, they were just carrying down the cycle, because they both were old school Catholics. My grandparents were abusive towards their children, so they couldn't break the cycle. They brought the cycle of abuse into their household. So I know for my household, I broke that cycle, because I knew I did not want that for my household. And if anything, I became the pushover parent who does anything for my son.
Still does.
I still am, yes. He's 22. He's my baby. He's always going to be that way. I think it's better to be that kind of parent than to be abusive, neglectful, hurtful, because, what you do to a child, it stays with them forever. It shapes who they become as an adult.
Mm-hmm. It's
always there, no matter how hard you try to break free from it. And I know I definitely have my moments, too, where the past creeps in, and it's very hard to move forward that way. And that's why I tend to be very quiet a lot, because that's what I'm stuck within. So, yeah, but you know that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very great rite. And both messages, like I said, they have their own dark tone to them. And, it's definitely fit in for tonight. If only there was a way to make a person see their actions, the repercussions of what it's doing at that moment, and the repercussions of what it will carry for a lifetime, then maybe it would make one realize that what they're doing is very damaging and makes them feel horrible for their actions as well.
Yeah.
Maybe make them have a change of heart. I don't know. This definitely was a very great rite. It definitely made me think.
Yeah. What did you think of it, Raz?
that you have here a kind of delusion that this serial killer Santa Claus is really in on it if he would murder certain individuals, such as the parents, only for the kids' sake. Just like other acts of evil, homicide qualifies as number one. So serial killer Santa Claus is not honestly answering some kid's letter why he came over that house and did the horrible deeds that he did that night.
Excellent comment. Well, we have another caller on the line. Area code 203. Who are we talking to?
Peter Lorre.
You're Lori?
Peter Lorre.
You're Lori? I don't know.
You've never seen me on TV? It's Chris. How are you?
Damn it, Chris. You sounded like Chris, but I wasn't sure. Hi,
Yeah.
Chris.
Hello, Chris.
I've seen Peter Lorre. This isn't him. Are you sure you can identify who's calling the studio?
Christmas.
You had me.
I wanted to just give a shout out to Luyu because I missed her show last night because I've been coughing my brains out, asthma really bad for like 2 or 3 weeks, so I missed her show last night and I feel bad.
Oh.
So if I go on mute, you'll know what I'm coughing my brains out.
I understand. I was there a couple months ago when I had a nasty case of bronchitis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I already had shots of steroids, everything, prednisone. I have to probably go back tomorrow for another course. I can't stop coughing. But everybody's like this right now, actually.
Yeah. This time of year.
But I'm sorry about your son. I've been there, not with my son, but the person was like a brother to me, and I saw him one last night, and he was gone. And my sons, a couple of them got in trouble, and thank God they're still here. So I deeply, I can feel for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. And it's a tough time of year for that too. Tough.
Yeah.
So.
It is.
It is.
I was stuck in that a few days ago. I had to pull out of that. Okay.
And Raz's poem, I heard that. Was that Raz? Is that correct?
Yeah,
I heard
my
that poem.
name, sure. Yes. Silent Night, Stay Quiet Still.
Well, I'll tell you, the whole poem was like just great, but the last part, that really pulled the whole thing together. That last part was unbelievable.
Thank you very much.
I'll comment later.
Hopefully that someone would like what they saw,
Oh, you have a lot of talent. That was great.
I agree.
Okay.
All right. Since you're here, we're going to drop your poem in. Is that all right, Chris?
Mall cops go wrong.
Well, Sky's waiting for me to go bowling, so I have to make this quick, but,
You already laughed.
I have GPS and an address. Okay, let me go back to that because I'm on my phone, so I'm trying to jog back and forth. Excuse me if I can't make this because of my cough, but it's not a very unique poem. It's just something I changed, and it's a little bit long, so don't get too bored. It's entitled "The Night Before Christmas." 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house I saw faces and bodies, but not even a mouse. There was a body hung from the tree next door, and the presence of devils above his body galore. All the children were nestled all snug in their beds, while the vision of darkness never left their heads. Mama in disbelief as I took a crap. We settled our brains for a little nap. When out of the woods there arose the devil's chatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. A gay in the window, I threw up on the sash. I got moon from the window, as he fell down so fast. When who to my wondering eyes should appear, but a good-looking butt that gave holiday cheer. I saw an old driver, so slow and so sick, I knew in a moment he was no way St. Nick. Faster than eagles, the horses they came. He whistled and tried to drive them insane. Now fascist, trim dancer, now pussy and Lixin. Go vomit so stupid, you drunkering Dixon. On top of the torch, you burn both of your balls. Now extinguish, extinguish, extinguish them all. As brown leaves before me, as I unzip my fly, trying to relieve myself, got myself stuck, made me cry. So let's cut this short and go straight to the end. I have other things that I must attend. Happy Christmas to all, and all a good night. With the darkness before me, I passed out from fright. End poem. Hope it wasn't too bad.
No, it's good. I like it. It's hilarious, actually. It's got some dark imagery, but a lot of comedy mixed in there, too, and I like that dark humor, I guess it's called, but I'm trying to find... you know what? I just got the image. If everybody ever saw the movie Bachelor
There's a
Party.
whole plot line to a movie right there. I mean,
Yeah.
you could title it either way, The Night Before Christmas or 'Twas the Night.
Yeah, I didn't bother titling this one. The title itself.
Yeah.
It was a fun ride. I used to do all just like light poetry and all just my simple poems and light poetry and all rhyme. Because I used to run a punch press all day, and you did nothing but just bang out on the press. And I'd grab a piece of cardboard and go in the bathroom and pencil and paper, and I'd write a poem in like 5 minutes when I was in my 20s. Yeah. And then I don't know, I got into a lot of dark groups, so now I enjoy the dark, and I just like writing about it. Everybody thinks there's something wrong with you. No, I get my darkness from TV. I get my darkness from the news. You know, it's not darkness that definitely comes from inside me. I just get it from watching other people and things like that there.
Yeah.
I can approve of that. I've been writing poetry since I was 12 years old. I'm nearly 40 now.
Yeah. I just wish I went to...
It's something that overcomes certain people, that they have this ability or would like to unleash certain psychological elements through that very written word, like you're saying, what you used to do.
You know, it's weird, though. It's just like I can write a poem in like 5 minutes. Maybe it's not the greatest, but it's just the words just pop in my head. I don't even have writer's block anymore. I mean, I write simple. I never went to school for creative writing or anything. I wish I did, but I write from my heart, so that's all I can say. And I love the people on, all poetry.
I find it brilliant, even if someone might try to criticize this poem. I mean, it's right there on top of everything else that's going on in postmodern times. You don't have any more a poem which wants to confront you and make you feel better. You want to see how the bad boys are playing on the field.
That's true. And actually, I learned a lot from poets on the site. They helped me out a lot. A lot.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, some of them I can't even understand what they're talking about. I have to read it 2 or 3 times, and I still don't know what they said. And that's all the point to a poet, too. If you can write a poem and nobody understands what you're talking about, that's a poem.
Yeah.
But I want to hold you up, so keep going.
Otherwise, it might just be philosophy. I mean, going through a whole paragraph and perhaps not being understood by the outside world.
Yeah.
So they say each poem, it's written so the reader interprets it how they want to interpret it. And I know, granted, I'm right with you, Chris, on that, where there's some poems I can read 5 or 6 times and I still have no idea what's going on.
Right.
And I want to make a comment, I want to make a good one, and I just can't. So I say something like, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Sometimes I have to go down and see what other people said. Yeah, that looks good. So.
Yeah.
But one of them is M.K. Rock. M.K. Rock is unbelievable.
In Barnes and Nobles, like these poets.
Yeah.
But M.K. Rock writes like that. You don't know what she's talking about. She writes, her words are unbelievable.
Yeah. There's a few of them on this site that are just like they'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
Kay's one of them too.
Well,
I know. I was going to say her too. I want to get in trouble.
Well, there definitely are certain rights that I look at many times, and if I still am struggling, then I just take certain lines and I go from there.
Yeah.
Because then technically, as you're leaving a comment about those few lines, and the rest usually for me tends to unfold the meaning. But yeah, I mean, metaphors are great.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're very hard. I understand that. But I also relate to what you say. I actually wrote a upbeat poem the other day, and it felt very weird because it's not my style. I have gotten used to writing on a dark level in my own way that now it doesn't feel right to write light. So I keep looking at it, and I keep saying, I hate this. I want to delete it because it just does not feel right. There's something about light and dark that feels comfortable.
Yeah.
I know, me too. I feel the same way. I mean, I enjoy writing other ways too, and I love doing dedications to people to show my respect for them. And you know, if somebody passes, I'll write something for them or whatever. But I don't know. It's weird though. I used to have to write a couple lines and let it sit there for. Comes right to my head. It's weird. I don't even know where. I think my father was like that. My father used to make jokes, write stuff. So I think I got that from him.
Yeah. Well, depending on my mood, I can write a poem out in less than 5 minutes or less if because the words just keep popping in my head and I just go to town. Usually,
I know.
usually
Isn't
in
that
that
weird?
one area of Tylenol PM.
It's weird. You just start writing, and all of a sudden the words just come on their own. Sometimes it's so strange.
Yeah, and sometimes they take you in a direction you didn't even think you were going to go in to begin with.
Exactly.
That's when it's crazy.
The fun part is when I used to always put a twist at the end. You go one way, and at the very end of the poem, you turn it around. That's a fun thing to do too.
Yeah, I like to do that too. Yeah.
It's great being here on your show. I was, waiting to come on for a while.
We appreciate you calling.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Glad to hear it. You gonna hang around or you gotta take off?
I'm gonna cough my brains out in a minute, but I'll make comments on the poems and I'll go back and I'll listen to the show if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, feel better, man.
Yeah.
No, I feel fine. It's just I can't stop coughing. But I heard Deb come on and she snuck on and read her poem. That was very good too.
Yeah.
But I'll be on. If I don't do it today, sometimes it takes me a couple of days to comment because I don't know why. But I'll definitely comment on your show tonight. And thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a Merry Christmas, Chris.
You too. Thank you. And great right there, pal. Nice bronze that you well deserved.
This is not the first, but I've only been on the site for 2 months.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I've been here for 5 years, and I think you write way better than I do. It's really intense. Lots of credit. Good luck to you. Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Very much, Chris. Good luck to you, too.
Yeah.
All right,
Merry
thank
Christmas,
you.
Kristen. Thank you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
All right. Thank you, and good night.
All right. Where are we going, hon?
Well, did you want Raz to read?
Oh, Raz, you feel like reading somebody else's poem?
Yeah, I'll read another person's poem. Are we moving on to Who Knows and Santa Knows?
Yes.
Yep. By M.W. Steigers. I think it's
incredible. M.W. Steigers. Yeah, I'll read his poem for him. Who knows? Santa knows. Jim had gotten into the Santa costume this morning while it rained. He rang the handbell and asked for donations till after dark. Alan was supposed to relieve him for the night, but never came. The rain turned to snow, and he thought the donations had hit the mark. At 8 p.m., they came by to collect the pot and told him go home. It was 10:30 something when he came to his building. The lights were on. They lit the pathway of fake stones. They had 4 flat, 2 downstairs, 2 up, full of kids screaming. There were a lot of buildings in this complex that looked like a park. Most of the people who lived here were on assistance. I was lucky. I got paid something for doing my part, but it was only due to my persistence. A noise I heard. I opened my blinds a crack to take a look. There in the morning stood Black Pete. He was covered in soot. Of chimney smoke he reeked. At Big Bad John's door he now rang. I need to clean your chimney. Let me in. Big John answered his door with a clang. What happened next was sin. Black Pete pushed his way in. He went to the chimney. He did not look at the key of coke on John's table. He went for his brush, and John shot him dead, the meanie. I closed the blinds as easy as I was able. The day after Christmas, they asked after Black Pete. I saw nothing, no peace, no mess. I confessed to 0 to avoid the heat.
Well, that was an excellent read. I like how you got into character there, especially for when you said you need to clean the chimney. It's a very, very, very good read. What'd you think of it?
When it comes to Mark Stigner's work, that I complimented him just the other day on this very exact poem, because it spoke out mostly not so much on the legend of Black Peter this time, but of the kind of accidents that really do happen in America, which go along the lines of a shooting that was not intended for the neighbor to sort of be in the line of fire, like he states in the narrative. But who would know? I mean, would Santa even know about that? Or perhaps God.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I actually read this earlier today, and I made a comment too. I thought that this was a very dark Christmas Eve tale. The way he wrote it too was amazing. With the imagery and his descriptions, kind of brought me right into the story while I was reading it. You kind of picture it all happening in my head, you know, right down to the little line of cocaine on the table. This is really cool. He writes really great. I like his stuff. What do you think, hon?
It's definitely Christmas with excess. It's like decadence of the 80s, it reminds me of.
Yeah.
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 Kind of a little like Die Hard.
Little, yeah.
Yeah, with the overindulgence.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a pretty cool write. I was kind of left speechless as to what to say for a comment. It's
I
definitely
believe Tiger has it all down right myself. I mean, the drama is really on point with the narrative description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely is. It's pretty badass.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's somber. It's its own Christmas tale.
Yeah.
I let Sweet Pea in.
Oh, Sweet Pea's here, my sister in darkness.
Hello.
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 How are you?
I'm doing good. I brought lightness today. Actually, I wrote 20 prompts. Yeah.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe it?
I did not. I didn't bring darkness. Sort of.
Did you hear the last poem from M.W. Steigers?
No, I did not. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's all right. And I bet you have to read and run.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, we just put your poem in the room.
Okay. I wrote your statement, your it's better to be naughty than nice. Santa likes it better that way. So I wrote to that. So, naughty. Alluring terracotta hair plunged to the edge of a black thong string bottom bikini. eyes catching the backside of heaven, sensing the animal in you. She snaps her head back and flashes a smile and whispers, "Watch those hands." A giggle and a wink, she sashays hips, boom, boom, around the bar. Drinks are poured and sent over with numbers and keys and notes that ask please, and two claim to make her a queen. The slit up the side of her dress lets her thighs play peekaboo. Wives are disgusted, huffing and puffing. Husbands are trying not to stare, silently hoping for a glance of lacy underwear. A confident woman burns, flame burns, leaves a trail of black and ash, diamonds, pearls, and fallen men. Mama knew at birth to name her angelic baby, naughty, and it worked. And
Now, Sweet Pea, we never do that. We are never silently hoping for a glance of lacy underwear.
Never. Never.
Yeah,
never.
the eloquent way of spelling pearl. It seems to be ancient English, the original translation. Peel. That is ancient English for pearl.
Huh. This is awesome, Sweet Pea. Excellent imagery as always. And you described the scene so perfectly.
Thank you for letting me know that. I totally screwed up. Yeah. I gotta change my peels to pearls.
Oh, it happens.
I know.
But you described the scene so perfectly that I could just picture it all happening in my head. What a name. Naughty. That's like the one.
Naughty.
The one poem that I wrote about the girl's name was Karma.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love it. What did you think, hon?
Well,
I can't be that naughty. I mean, I need Santa Claus to come this year. And hopefully not in any sense that he's going to kill me instead of handing over the presents.
She neither kills or doesn't leave presents. I mean, you know.
She teases.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think, hon?
Well, yeah, you definitely personified her. This is a Skyward. It's rubbing off on me. I'm using it a lot lately. But yeah, you definitely, with a name like Naughty, you should live up to it, right?
I guess so, yeah.
That's right. She's not named Nice.
Awesome.
I want to be named Naughty.
We all want to be at times.
Only at times.
At times, not
fair.
always.
Sometimes I wish I was named Asshole.
Why?
Maybe make it further in
I
life.
know. Yeah, you might. Name Expectations.
I don't know.
Every boss I've had has been an asshole, so why not? What did you think, Raz?
That the poet here in Naughty has a quintessential way of describing sexual material, yet what eludes the entire piece might in fact be, if there was not more of an overtone in the environmental factors of this person who appears to be all but naked or just in her bare underwear in public. However, if that much is true, why does not the code affect her in the process? You see what I'm saying?
She's in a bikini.
Or am I
power
just
to it.
completely off this time? It's exactly what I meant. I can't have naughty thoughts. I can't stand with this group.
We all have naughty thoughts.
You can have naughty thoughts with naughty.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I might have to see if Kay wants to get her name changed then.
No.
I have a very good. Well, I have one of my kids, one of my street kids that I raised, and they named their daughter Pandora, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he's like, what, Mom? What? I'm like, this child.
That must be some literal Greek nightmare come Christmas time that Pandora has to open up boxes for presents.
That's high school, honey. Those boys are going to be like, can I open Pandora's box? Let me into Pandora's box.
That's what I was thinking. I just didn't want to say it.
Exactly. Oh, please. Like, I didn't tell him. They named their boy Lucian after the devil. Oh, yes.
Lucian is also, what's his name?
What, from Harry Potter?
I was thinking from Robin Hood.
Robin Hood?
Yeah. Wasn't that guy
Alan Rickman?
one guy named Lucian?
No, I think
that was what was missing from the Die Hard episode. You forgot to mention Alan Rickman played the part of that sheriff, right? The one in Nottingham?
Alan Rickman?
Alan Rickman, yeah. Yeah, he played the sheriff of Nottingham in the one Robin Hood. But I was thinking of the BBC series. I thought there was a character named Lucian. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't know. It's
Lucian. It's horrible either way.
Yeah.
Well, for a child, it would be one of stigma. I like the name itself. Years ago, I named my one cat Lucian.
Yeah, I remember.
A cat,
not
a child.
Yes.
I obviously had quantum complications why I had to call again on the show from Rickman, even for this Christmas special.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am a complication. I'm sorry.
No,
of course not. This is all a good time. Merry cheer.
Merry cheer. Cherry Mary.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Something like that.
Happy holidays.
There you go.
How you doing, Broken K? Will you be unbroken by Christmas?
I actually am doing very well. I'm feeling better than expected, so I'm on the right track.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
We're well more than halfway there, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
And
well,
she better
you're
watch
close
out.
to my dad, so send healing things to my dad. He's in Parma Hospital, so University of Parma.
Will do.
I hope everything's okay.
Yes, definitely sending prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's doing better. He's doing really well, actually. So.
Okay, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah. Right by you, just wave once in a while. Wave that way.
I'll wave in this direction.
Okay.
I will do that.
Good. Good to know.
I'm doing it right now.
Well, his scary daughter is like, writing crazy poetry. All right. I'm going to let you guys get back to your night. I had a blast here, as always. But no, I'm going. And you guys going to Rome show tonight?
Probably not. I got to get up early in the morning, and we got a few things we got to take care of before I can get to bed. So.
Yeah, I got to put you to work.
Yep.
That's awful. I did the tree today,
It's not
so
really
that was
the devil's name, but actual light in ancient Rome.
Really.
Well,
yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. That's not what I was told when they named him that. So I'm glad they were wrong.
The devil's name happens to be more popular than that, Lucifer, right? That's exactly what they call the original fallen. Lucian is a variation of the words where you have the preceding of light, not so much fallen light.
That's awesome.
It is.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
There's
thanks
hope
for
for
bringing
Lucian.
Yes.
You rock.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a lovely night. Thanks for listening to my naughty.
All right. Thank you for bringing it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Bye, Kay. Bye, Steven. You guys rock. I adore you. All right. Bye.
You too.
Bye, sweet
Bye-bye.
pea.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. You're going to read yours now?
Yeah, I am. I got a little excited for the show. I wrote 2 the other night. I'm just going to read one, and I'll save the other for another night. Because I've seen the original Black Christmas so many times through the years that I really do like the movie. And the funny thing is, whenever I think of a movie, I think of the character himself, the man who escaped from the insane asylum, because throughout the movie, he is tormenting the girls who live in the sorority house. Because
Which used to be his house when he was a child.
yeah, he escaped and he went back to his childhood home that carried a lot of trauma for him. So being back in his childhood home, it broke him in other ways, because throughout the movie he was pranking them, but the way he would talk to them would always be in different tones. At some points he'd be sounding like a baby trying to screech and cry and try to talk. At times he sounded childlike, and then at other times he was very vulgar, very sexually explicit. Every call was different. It was like he was tapping into some other different aspect of his psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And at times he was trying to sound like his mother, too.
Yeah, sometimes the voice would change a few times during the same call, too.
Yeah, well, funny, it'd be like a baby, then his mother. It's like it flipped the script all over. But that's what my mind keeps going back to, is him personally. So I tried writing from his perspective and what I saw through my eyes. So I call this When a Stranger Beckons. Painted pictures of frosty ferns traced upon window pane last night, not realizing this would be the last day of normalcy. Willow trees painted, trailing bogs of icy bliss. Flowers have hibernated, frosty white blankets the land in stillness. But when the morning sun arrives, its golden beams of personified winter nipping at fingertips, much like he will in the dark corners of the night, will cast a cloud over merriment. Black Christmas, wrapped some porcelain and searing shards, vanishing one by one as he creeps, waiting for his moment. His urges were animal, primitive, physical, demonic feelings as he barked and belched into the receiver, spewing insanity, vulgarizing the ears of Satan's perversions. His tangle of fury and adrenaline, he creeps in the night. Your slumber will be your undoing. As you sleep, I will come in and leave a surprise. One you'll never forget, as my face is the last you'll see when I return. Foolishness or misbehavior, even just the slightest, will be the undoing you never expected, as a voice of mother rules me. You see, you're living in her home. Hatred for home pulls him closer to the hearth. Innocence meeting evil, tranquility of a day shattered. End call.
Yeah, this is very well done as usual, hon. I love the imagery and descriptions you put in here, but I really, 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 really like the way you described his voice for the calls, for the phone calls, where you say he barked and belched into the receiver, spewing insanity, vulgarizing the ears with Satan's perversions. That's true. That's what he sounded like, because he'd be really high pitched, and then all of a sudden go, oh, like it was like, Jesus, what's wrong with this guy? And you really brought that to life with those words. I thought, this is great.
Yeah, I really like the movie. It's an older one, but I really like it.
It's been a little while since we saw it. We'll have to dig it up.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Raz?
That I wasn't so much drawn to the memory of Black Christmas, but found an entirely separate scene of horror by the descriptions here. Because in Black Christmas, the scene is slightly more different than someone kind of invading the home surely over the fact that they're demonic. The actual presence of invasion happens to be that very point of the supernatural. So I thought it was a good read, but I could not associate it with Black Christmas. This is an entirely separate scene of horror, what Kay has drawn.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
All right. Where are we going from here?
Well, I will drop yours.
The killer was, in fact, mortal on Black Christmas, not supernatural. And there's
Yes,
more
he
of an
was.
emphasis on that in the verses.
Yes.
But it's
Yeah,
a great
he
right
definitely-
here.
Thank you. He definitely had his own darkness within him. Being in the home broke the psyche even more.
Yeah. I don't even remember what I wrote.
Well, time to revisit it.
Well, I titled it simply Black Christmas, a homage. And I wrote from Billy's point of view. It goes like this. This used to be my house, where I was born and raised. Not much of a childhood, beaten, left in a daze. I lost my mind in here. In the attic, I really think. Now you girls are here, in here. Your Christmas cheer will sink. I know the house so well, hidden tunnels in the wall. I'm watching you all the time, especially when I call. You don't know who keeps phoning. You think it's a harmless prank. Tonight your lives will end badly, and you can take that to the bank. It might be Christmas Eve now, and you're busy decking the halls, but the person who you will see tonight is a far cry from Santa Claus. You will not see the morning sun. By then you will all be dead. Perhaps that will finally help me shut off these voices in my head. End poem.
Yeah, definitely will.
Possibly the greatest one describing the movie tonight. That would be Steve's part. This captured everything. What you're taken to is literally replaying Black Christmas on that day from the actual killer's perspective.
Thank you, Rez. That's what I was going for.
And that's what you did. Because,
there's every detail here, even how Billy kept the secrets up in the attic and the previous victims that no one ever heard about, as to the girls that used to be there.
Yeah.
There's a whole new mode of suspense, which you only get through the cemetery quality of watching the film.
That's true.
Thank you.
He definitely brought this to life very well because he did walk through the movie itself because, he did come back to his childhood home and he definitely lost his mind there. And he was hiding in the attic and they didn't know. I know for the one girl, was the story, the one girl, she thought it was her boyfriend who was harassing because when he was talking about where'd you put the baby, she was thinking that was her boyfriend because, she had told her boyfriend, I'm pregnant, but I'm going to have it terminated. And he was upset about that and saying, no, why can't we just get married? And she was adamant and saying, no, this is how it's got to be. So, that phone call made her think that this was her boyfriend because he was very bitter about the fact that she just wanted to break up and just wash her hands of every aspect of the relationship. And the funny thing is, at the end, she ended up murdering him because he came to the house. And, this was after all the other sorority sisters were murdered at that point. So she just thought that this was him. But, at the end of the film, when they close out, thinking everything's peaceful and calm and everything is solved, he's still in the attic and she's the last one alive, which means it's going to be her turn.
Yep. That's why none of them will see the morning.
No. She did see the morning, but she won't see the night.
Yeah.
Because the movie ended with it being a new day.
Christmas morning.
Yeah. So nobody walked away alive except Billy.
Billy, yeah.
Where Billy
After
went after
reading
that?
that homage, I mean, I definitely wouldn't watch Black Christmas. That would be scary.
Yes.
Did you want to do acknowledgments and announcements?
Well, we still have one more.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, Phil.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Phil, the
what's
gold
your
winner.
gold? Yeah. I'm going to grab that. And then we'll get ready to close.
I forgot. How can I forget Phil? I'm sorry, Phil. I know you'll listen to this later. He's sleeping right now because it's like, what? 2 o'clock in the morning where he's at.
Something like that. Something like that.
All right. This is from Phil the Poet, the gold winner of the contest, and it's called Have Yourself a Gory Little Christmas. Have yourself a gory
little Christmas. Make your Yule times bright.
All right. It goes like this. Blood dripping from the ceiling, / decorations lie limp, hanging lifeless from paper noose, creative of festive carnage. Jingle Bells becomes a haunted melody, with backing vocals of gurgling screams. Hide yourself among the presents. Hold your breath, here he comes. The season of goodwill to all men disappears with disembodied parts hanging from a Christmas tree. Be still, don't scream. Silence, like a graveyard, fills the house. The only sound is the beating of your own heart, thumping violently in your heaving chest, while the screams linger on in your memory. Don't turn around, he's right behind you. Why hold your breath, he won't go away. Feel his cancer-like breath upon your neck, and his whiskers brush against your cheek. Frozen in time, your eyes tell the story, shivering from the cold of the unexpected. Closing your eyes, hoping it's just a dream, but all you hear is his voice singing. I know when you've been sleeping. I know when you're awake. I know when you've been bad or good, but it's your soul that I will take. End poem.
That was really up the wall.
Yeah, I like this one.
Steve's voice narrating this, it's like, you're no longer reading Phil the Poet. You're hearing it done through an actual performance piece. As to Phil's writing, he has a way of capturing the fact that this time it's for real. Killer Santa Claus really did not like what you did this year, and of course, the punishment is on its way.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I thought this be like Santa Claus and death morphed to one. I thought the imagery was very dark and disturbing. That's why I enjoyed it so much. Disembodied parts hanging all over the tree. Yeah, Santa Claus just going on a rampage. But I really, really, really love the way he ended it. But it's your soul that I will take. That just kind of sums it all up. What do you think, hon?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a dark side of Christmas. I can see why you gave Phil the gold, because all around this is definitely very amazing with the dark life that he created. And it definitely had a lot of twists and turns, and he brought the terror home in a very dark way. I thought this was an awesome write, and you read it very well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Raz, do you have anything else you want to say about it before we do our announcements?
No. I mean, obviously, you have your whole Christmas song gone wrong there. If there's anything that you don't want to do on Christmas is piss off Santa Claus. That's been the whole point of the show, right?
Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, let's do your acknowledgments, and then we'll make announcements. And
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to the people who did call in tonight. Because Sky was here for a brief bit, and then, of course, Raz, he's been here the entire evening, and then Deb, Chris, and Sweet Pea, they called in for a bit, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who participated tonight, because Raz, Deb, Chris, Sweet Pea, Blue, Joseph Moon, Glow Lizzie, Jeff Brand, Poetic Tea, M.W. Steichert, and Phil the Poet all shared something tonight.
Glow Lizzie called in too for.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Glow Lizzie called in. I forgot to put that in my section. I have two sections on a piece of paper, one who called in and one who was on the board or shared, so I got that mixed up. So my apologies. Glow Lizzie was one of the callers too. So my apologies there. Thank you to everybody who did call in, who was on the board and participated for tonight.
Yep, we couldn't do these shows without you guys. All right, so we will now talk about tomorrow night's show.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Pull it up. Tomorrow night is the Poetic Inklings of Tomorrow, and I found 10 excellent quotes, at least in my opinion, from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. I don't know if do you want me to read them all, hon?
Sure.
All right. Quote number 1, there is nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor. Quote number 2, I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. I girded it of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Quote number 3, no space of regret can make amends for one life's opportunity misused. Quote 4, really for a man who'd been out of practice for so many years, it was a splendid laugh. Quote number 5, the one that I wrote to. If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Quote number 6, come in and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before. Quote number 7, Christmas is a poor excuse every 25th of December to pick a man's pockets. Quote number 8, another one of my favorites. If I could work my will, every idiot that goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Quote number 9, money can't buy a happy life or a peaceful death. And finally, quote number 10, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. And that is for tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, and I should also make this announcement, too. There will be no Mortuary or Shadows next week because next week is Christmas Eve on Tuesday. But the next time Mortuary Shadows does air will be in January, yeah, because the following Tuesday is New Year's Eve. And it will be at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go a little later, so maybe we can go a little more darker even still. The next two, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, we will have a show. It will be open poetry, open holiday poetry. Not sure of a time yet. That is still yet to be determined. All right, Thursday's show, we are writing about classic Christmas songs, mainly stuff from the old, like Bing Crosby, Dean Martin, Nat King Cole. I put on the board a few examples, Dean Martin singing Silver Bells, Elvis Presley with Blue Christmas, and Bing with White Christmas. But there's so many old songs. Write what these songs inspire in you. Write what the singers inspired in you. You can take it anyway, but that's going to be more of a lighthearted show.
It will be.
And then Saturday night, we're back to a night of laughter through the arts at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we're looking at funny Christmas movies this time. I have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. 3 quotes from that. If I woke up with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised. Quote number 2, it's Christmas time and we're all in misery. Christmas number 3, hey Griswold, where do you think you're going to put a tree that big?
Bend over and I'll show you.
Yeah. The movie A Christmas Story. Of course, one of the quotes I took for that one is, I had to do, you'll shoot your eye out. Yeah. And then the next one is Schwartz created a slight breach of etiquette by skipping the triple dare and going right for the throat. And quote, the next quote is, you knew darn well it was better not to get caught. And then the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray. Yeah. And the quotes I took from that one is, the bitch hit me with a toaster. And then another one is, sometimes you have to slap them in the face to get their attention. And then the last one is, that's a really nice attitude to have on Christmas Eve. It is. So that's where we're going for Saturday night. And that's all I got.
Well, yeah, next week, because next week is already Christmas. Yeah, we're not doing a show next Wednesday because we're taking Christmas off.
Yep, with pay.
Yeah.
We don't get paid.
We do this out of our time.
We do this just for fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, next week we're on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yes.
So Tuesday being Christmas Eve, yeah, it's going to be holiday open poetry.
Yep.
Are you
And then
saying that you
Thursday.
have a contest on Groundhog's Day on Saturday?
No, Scrooged. The movie Scrooge with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Because doesn't he get hit by the toaster on Groundhog's Day as well?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that. I know in Scrooge he gets Carol Kane, the ghost of Christmas Past, hits him in the face with a toaster.
Yeah.
I see. There's so much you can actually count out of breadcrumbs or something along those lines with Dickens, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Did you want to say what you wanted to do next week for the shows real quick? Like Tuesday?
Oh, I don't remember what we were doing on Thursday.
Next Thursday. This was my idea.
Oh, Dan Fogelberg and the New Year's, that song that he did, Another Old Lang Syne.
Yeah, I want that show for next Thursday. I'm moving my sound to be New Year's, good or bad.
Yeah. And then Saturday we're going to focus on the movie 200 Cigarettes, which is a movie that takes place on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
All right. That is it. So we're ready to play our closing song and get on out of here.
Yeah. Did you say that this was free?
Remember, he's watching all year round. Lamar Copper, the serial Santa Claus. Or maybe good old St. Nick. That would be best.
Yeah. Indeed. All right. We're going to play that song and hit the road. So thank you again, Raz, for sticking with us the whole night. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
No problem. It's been a great time. Thank you very much for having me.
Yep.
You have a good night.
You're welcome. You too.
Have a good night. Real quick before I hit the music, did you give credit to the opening music?
I did.
Okay, all right. Then I will hit play on music. And
This one had no author, but it was public domain.
Okay, so I will hit play then.
Yep. All right, that's our show.
Yeah, not bad for public domain, the music that we share for the shows, too.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing our homework in a lot of ways, which is why in the evening hours sometimes we're a little quiet because we're busy getting things ready for our shows for the week and whatnot. So, yeah, I thought this was pretty cool music for tonight.
Took some digging.
took some digging, but you did very well. Because I'm just going to say this again, that the music for the shows, Stephen picks it out. I leave it up to him because I don't trust my ability for picking out the music anymore. I thought I did good, but I'm saying this because it's very true. I think you do a very good job of picking out the music, so I trust your decision.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess without further ado, I will say goodnight. And thank everybody out there for listening. And I hope to see some of you tomorrow.
Yep.
For Charles Dickens.
Yes. It's a holiday type thing. Merry Black Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening in and participating and being on the board, calling in.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Good night, Chris. I know you're listening.